Welcome. In front of me I have the ROG Phone 8, and today I'll go over unboxing along with a quick look at the device itself. So let's get straight into it. So this is the newly released Asus device, specifically designed for gaming, and also specifically designed to fleece you out of all your money. These devices aren't necessarily the cheapest for some reason. Pop it open. So talking about the price, this device actually starts at over 1,000 euros, so 1,099 euros. So it is already at basically over premium device. So premium I would consider to be like the typical Samsung S24s as an example, or Plus, whatever they have, stupid naming they use, apart from like Ultras, which come at about 999 euros or something along those lines. So this is already a bit over, and the reason I consider this to be an overpriced device is not just because the price is high. It's because this is a gaming device that doesn't have great cameras. So when it comes down to software and just hardware for cameras, Samsung's will smash this device completely. Like, there's no competition between these phones. So you're paying possibly even more than you'd pay for a Samsung, just to have lesser device, I would say. So the only reason you might want to pay for this device is probably because of those triggers, because other than that, it doesn't really differ much between something like a typical Samsung S24, which already comes with nearly similar specs right there. And the only benefit over Samsung is that when you're gaming, you have these touch capacitive sensors right here. So you can just map it and use it as a trigger. So that's pretty decent. But outside of that, there is nothing really like super great about it. Now anyway, let's also continue to see what we got in the box. If I can actually, there we go, figure out how to open it up. So luckily, Asus does almost always include case with their device, which I would say at least adds a little bit more value to the exorbitant amount that you get to pay for this device. There we go. So that's on. Looks pretty good actually. Now, additionally, unlike Samsung, we get additional things in the box. So we have a braided cable. This is a Type-C to Type-C, and a hefty charger. This charger is, let's just find the actual specs, 65 watts of power. So this is a really good charger that comes provided with the device. Obviously, if you would have to buy Samsung and then also get like a charger like this one, which probably Samsung sells for more than that would run, then yeah, the price starts to make sense. But most of us have chargers at home that are already decent enough to basically top up our device relatively quickly. From older devices back in the day where manufacturers actually included chargers in the box. So this kind of defeats the purpose. So even though you have a charger that offsets the costs for Samsung, if we're still comparing it, most of us already have one, so it doesn't really matter all that much. Now let's start talking about the actual device. So the display right here is a 6.7-inch display with a 1080p by 2400 resolution. It is also an LTPO AMOLED display, 1 billion colors, 165 Hz refresh rate, HDR10 only, so no 10 plus certification, and a peak brightness of 2500 nits. Additionally, it's covered by Cornell Gorilla Glass Victus 2. I don't know why this is always such a tongue twister. So, you know, it should sustain some of your gamer rage on it and probably not have much of a problem with it. And if we flip it over to the back where we have our cameras, we can now talk about that. We have a 15 megapixel f1.9 24mm wide lens. Then we got a 32 megapixel f2.4 telephoto and 13 megapixel ultra wide f2.2 120 degree field of view ultra wide. So those are the cameras right here. And then a selfie that we have up here is a, where is it? 32 megapixel f2.5. Now I do want to mention one more thing, that this device has a China version as well, which differs a bit in terms of camera. So it looks like the China version, or China and India, get the 15 megapixel wide, 13 megapixel ultra wide, but instead of having the 32 telephoto, you get 5 megapixel macro. So that being said, if this device comes at the same price, just screw it, go for something else, as you're getting fleeced even harder at that point out of your money. I assume Asus would, price correct this for different market, but if they don't, just go with something else at this point. Like, it's already overpriced device, so I don't really see a reason to overpay for an overpriced device and then get shafted by Asus. Now, moving on. This device is running on Android 14, which is the newest one right now, and is being powered by a Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, which is the newest processor as of now. Also has a 5500 mAh battery with that 65 watt charging, 12 or 16 gigs of RAM, along with, give me a sec if I need to find the actual spec for storage. Where is it? Oh, for goodness, there we go. And at a base entry, it comes with 256 gigs of storage. That would be the 12 gigabyte RAM version, and the other one is 256 gigs of storage with 16 gigs of RAM. So actually, you don't get more storage space. Now, that's also where it kind of starts to fall apart. So, 256 gigs of storage for a gaming device, I wouldn't say it's that much. And in addition, there is no expandable storage. So, you get 256 and that's it. Go have fun. So I kind of see this as a big L. For a gaming device, you would expect it to have a bit more space so you can load it up with games and have it on your device, but 256, if you like start cramming triple, or not, those are mobile games, not AAA, but ones that take a bit more space. So for instance, Genshin Impacts and stuff like that, they do take a bit of space. You load up a bunch of games like that and you're out of space. So that's also not very good kind of decision making for the device that cost over $1,000 freaking. So that's basically all the worth mentioning info. Now we do have additional things like headphone jack on here at the bottom. We have under display fingerprint sensor and the capacitive little areas right here for the triggers. But it's everything that other manufacturers also do. And there is one device that I want to point out that might be better value for the money. One that I actually am wanting to pick up myself, and that would be the Nubia Red Magic 9 Pro, I think it's called. I know it's 9, I don't remember, there's a difference between like 9 or 9 Pro. But in any case, in terms of the idea, it's still a gaming phone. It has actually a built-in fan, so it can cool better than this device. The display is, in my opinion, better without a hole punch camera because it uses under display camera. It's a device that doesn't really cater to photography at all, so I do have to point that out. But the benefit is that the price is almost half of this, so you get nearly identical devices. The Nubia actually has a bigger battery over the Asus, and arguably better display. At least I prefer the Nubia display just because it's bigger and not obstructed by anything, and it just looks like a slab of glass. It's fantastic. So in that aspect, I think I would prefer Nubia just because it's cheaper and looks better in my opinion. over this one. But that's personal preference, and I do like to save money where I can, especially when I would have to get nearly identical performance out of a device. I don't see a point to overpay for it. And that being said, Nubia actually has a pretty good OS on there as well. I don't remember what's it called, but Nubia is, if I remember correctly, part of OnePlus, so they do have very similar settings and OS there. It's just called a little bit different, but it works great. So that's what I would recommend checking out. And if you still want to get a kind of like this Nubia looking device gaming one, but you don't care for the touch capacitive sensors, they also have the Nubia Z60, I think it's called, which is a more traditional device while still being spec'd the hell out, similar to this device. It's more catering towards photography, so that's also a great alternative. But like I said, when it comes down to gaming phone, that device wouldn't be gaming. It would be just the Red Magic 9 Pro that has these buttons exactly like the Asus. Now, in any case, with that being said, hopefully you found this video helpful and informative. And if you did, don't forget to smash like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.